Steel City Blues, the Sky Blues, playing in yellow, frustrated Sheffield United. Confused? Wednesday were. A defensive reshuffle brought their first defeat of the season at Millwall. Who are the region's top scorers at home? Barnsley, 5 more against Swindon. And how to take your chances. Mansfield were played off the park, but earn a point at Huddersfield. But first, we join the third division's biggest crowd of the day, as second-place Grimsby meet third-place Stoke. Nick Powell.
On an afternoon where tension may well be much in evidence, Stoke will rely on experienced men like Mickey Thomas, scorer of the winning goal at Bradford in midweek. But even at 36, he's not the oldest player on the field. That's Steve Sherwood in the Grimsby goal, whose efforts last week at Birmingham did much to earn his side a point. Away by Statham. Well won by Cunnington, the captain. And Woods found Gilbert in a little bit of space. It's a good turn by Gilbert, asking Rees to have a go. Goalkeeper timed his run well, Peter Fox, and down bravely and timed it exactly right. Good first-time ball in by Dave Gilbert. Turns well. Knows that he's got support from Rees. There it is. And the goalkeeper times his run absolutely perfectly. Blake. Kelly won the header. And the Grimsby defence are finding Tony Kelly quite a handful this afternoon. And McDermott didn't know the ball had come to him. Thomas did. Here's Kelly. Shooting chance. Still Kelly. Came off Sherwood. And it goes for the corner. But the mistake by McDermott very nearly let in Tony Kelly then. Paul Ware has come across to take the corner. Help from Thomas. Blake on the far post. Beeston. Carl Beeston, clear shooting opportunity. No challenge. Just screwed it wide. Ellis beaten by Tilson. Good run by Butler. Ellis is onside. Butler's gone forward in support. This is still Ellis. Rather uncertain clearance by Lever and by Jobling. Still bobbling around. Thomas in there challenging for it. And the linesman is flagging. And the decision goes Grimsby's way. Mickey Thomas certainly likely to be a thorn in the side of the Grimsby defence for the rest of the afternoon. Stoke have brought David Kevin into the action in place of Mickey Kennedy, who's had some trouble with the hamstring strain in midweek and may just be feeling that again. Statham with the throw for Sanford. Back to Statham. It was Carr with the touch and Thomas. Child's back there helping. This is Kevin, the substitute. The afternoon has suddenly got a great deal darker after a sunny day on the east coast. Let's hope it won't still be looking dark for Grimsby come the final whistle. This is Brighter from Woods. Rees inside him. Woods may fancy his chances going on his own. There's Rees inside. Can he turn? Still trying to turn. He must break. It has gone in for Tommy Watson. It was just the break they've been waiting for. Tommy Watson, his third goal of the season. It was the confidence of Neil Woods to go at Sanford and go at Statham. Goes past them as though they weren't there. Rees just couldn't turn on it. But he got a touch, and when it bobbled, there was Watson, played onside by Blake. 1-0 to Grimsby. Stoke will certainly carry the game to them now. Here's Kevin. Space for Ware. Chance for him. Couldn't get any power on the shot. The best Stoke chance of the afternoon, really. Played forward for Paul Ware, the youngster, 19 years old, just couldn't get any power on it. And here come Grimsby at the other end. Gilbert plays it in. Here's Woods. Can he turn? Watson. Stoke get it away. Childs challenging for it with Carr, and Childs wins. Support from McDermott, only 2 in the penalty area for him. One of them is Woods. Away by Sanford. And suddenly it's become the kind of game that we were all expecting and hoping for. Cunnington. Statham making ground. Finding Ware. He was caught in possession by Gilbert. Fair challenge from Dave Gilbert. He does a lot of defensive work that often goes unnoticed. Rees, great ball forward, looking for Cunnington. Can he get there? Still going Cunnington. Support from Childs arriving. Woods in the penalty area. There's Woods, and Sanford was there. And the referee gives the goal kick, although I think Neil Woods may have felt that Sanford might have got a touch in there. It's a great ball played through. An unfortunate slip there. It's played in for Woods, and I think that came off Sanford, but the referee disagrees. And Buckley there with his hand on his cheek has done great work here in moulding Grimsby into one of the better attacking teams in the 3rd division. Joplin plays it short for Gilbert. Into Woods. But it was too tight for him. It's broken for Gilbert. Joplin again in support. Full midfield player. This is Rees. Nice touch for Woods. Good tackle. Still might break for Grimsby. Here's Watson. Childs on the far post. Here's Childs. Gary Childs. 2nd goal of the season. And the place has gone mad. They've started to get the breaks finally that haven't been coming their way all afternoon. That was a lovely little back heel. Woods racing through. This is where they got the break. And it created space for them. Watson it was, played it very coolly, and Childs arrived unmarked. And Alan Ball, the Stoke manager in the cap there, must be wondering what he can do. There's not much he can do from the touchline because he's played both substitutes. He must just hope that his team can get forward. Well, he can have a go. Childs. And McDermott going down like a train to his right. And Stoke looked that way and left space for Gilbert on the left. Useful little cross, and Rees barely made contact. Applause for Gilbert. It was an excellent cross. Here it is, pinpointed right on the head. Just maybe a touch too high for him. Gilbert. Crowd have just been given the attendance of 10,799. As Ellis goes forward, might try a shot. Only a yard wide. Tony Ellis, who got 2 goals a couple of weeks ago, thought he might have got one there. Certainly struck it cleanly, had the confidence to go at the defender. Looked up. It wasn't very far wide. Stoke still pressing forward. Thomas. Statham, ball came off Lever. Thomas, worth a try, it's a good effort. Mickey Thomas never stops trying. Wasn't very far away. It'll surely be Stoke's final effort, this. First time opportunist effort with the left foot. Dipping a little bit, just dipped too late. And the referee decides that the 90 minutes are up, and Grimsby Town have beaten Stoke on an important afternoon. It didn't go their way in the first half. In the second half, goals from Gary Childs and Tommy Watson There's Gary Childs back from a spell out with an ankle injury. A happy afternoon for him and for Grimsby. It's Grimsby 2, Stoke City 0. What did the boss say afterwards?
He's obviously delighted. He can't ask for no more than 3 points against a team like Stoke.
Where do you go from here?
Well, we're 6 points clear of the 3rd and 4th place teams now, so anyways, up by the looks of it.
After the break, there's a fair bit of controversy and 24 more goals. We're playing like amateurs in a professional league. Dave Bassett's comment after his team's home defeat against Coventry. This from Kevin Gallagher, one of several chances for the visitors in the first half. United's chances weren't quite so clear-cut. Brian Burrows, the keeper's saviour here. The Blades haven't won a First Division match since being promoted. A scrappy clearance, but this volley from Vinnie Jones was well covered. In the end, it was a penalty which settled the points. United had hope for one when Trevor Peake brought down a Ghana inside the area. But the ref said play on. The only goal of the match came 10 minutes from time. A corner from Mickey Ginn, and some poor defending from United. It let Cyril Regis through, but keeper Simon Tracy hit his feet, not the ball. David Speedy tried to calm Marwood's protests, and Brian Burrows got his 4th goal of the season to give Coventry, who'd lost their last 4 matches, their first away win of the season. Final score, Sheffield United 0, Coventry 1. Elsewhere in Division 1, Leeds United threatened to end Aston Villa's unbeaten home league record, but had to settle for a goalless draw at Villa Park. And that result leaves Leeds lying in 9th place, just behind Villa. Next week they face Forest, who are just below them. Sheffield United are firmly anchored at the bottom. They have just 3 points now from 10 games.
In Division 2, Sheffield Wednesday began confidently at Millwall. Phil King overlapping down the left. David Hurst's header. There have been suggestions that Wednesday might leave out Hurst, their top scorer. After 16 minutes, they were doubly glad they hadn't. John Sheridan playing a 1-2 with Paul Williams. Hurst has made the run, and an emphatic finish. Wednesday on course for another afternoon, showing their opponents how to play. It didn't turn out quite like that. Jimmy Carter pulled back a goal just before the hour, and with Roland Nielsen stretched off, the Wednesday defence lost its shape and the match. 62 minutes, Teddy Sheringham sending Carter away down the right. The defence is stretched, and Sheringham arrived to finish the move he started. The other winger, O'Callaghan, was in at the start of the goal that gave Millwall the lead with 2 minutes left. Malcolm Allen did the rest. Millwall, 5th at start of play, seemed to decide it's time for bed. And Wednesday are staring their first defeat of the season in the face. In injury time, Alex Ray completed their misery. It finished Millwall 4, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
A decisive win for Barnsley at home to Swindon. 6 goals in all, just this one in the first half. A shot from Ian Banks, fumbled by Swindon keeper Fraser Digby. The ball fell to midfielder Brendan O'Connell. In the second half, Swindon were down to 10 men, John Gittins having been sent off for pulling Andy Saville's shirt. 7 minutes later, Saville was brought down by defender Nicky Tanner in the area. Steve Agnew thumped home the penalty to make it 2-0. The visitors' only goal came a minute later. Steve White reaching the ball, all the others couldn't reach. Swindon's joy was short-lived, though. In the 69th minute, Saville broke again, his cross chested down by O'Connell, and with the defence at 6s and 7s, number 8, Andy Rammell, made it 3-1. Barnsley's 4th goal came 2 minutes later, a clearance to the halfway line, picked up by that man O'Connell. A through ball put Agnew onside and on target for his 2nd goal. The home side made it 5 in the 78th minute. Carl Tyler's effort rebounding off the bar and Rammell also getting 2 goals. Final score, Barnsley 5, Swindon 1. So, Barnsley are only winners in the second division. Sheffield Wednesday joined in the losers column by Hull. Dave Bamber put them in front at Plymouth, but they went down 4-1. The top of Division 2 looks like this. Wednesday, with a game in hand over the top 2 teams, are in 3rd place on 28 points, while Barnsley move up into 6th position on 22. Hull are still in the bottom 4, but the good news for them is that none of the bottom 5 teams won. Next week, Hull are at home to Newcastle.
In Division 3, Huddersfield, who'd lost disappointingly at home to Bournemouth in midweek, dominated the play against Mansfield. Simon Trevitt's cross almost laying on a goal for Ewan Roberts in the first minute. But Mansfield's away record isn't bad for a team in the lower reaches of the division, and Kevin Kent put them in front against the run of play on the quarter hour. Huddersfield struck back, Chris Marsden's free kick, Peter Jackson's header, and the ball seemed to be going past Beasley, but he held it on the line. Huddersfield's pressure finally brought an equaliser on 25 minutes. Charlton playing the ball in, a great layoff here by Ifianora, and Mark Smith turning and an emphatic finish. Into the second half, Simon Trevitt had missed the last 7 Huddersfield games with a groin injury, but he proved he was fully fit with this drive, which had Beasley stretching to the limit. Smith, who'd scored Huddersfield's first goal, made the second, Robert Wilson heading in his corner on 56 minutes. And that really should have been that, but Mansfield saved a point with a classic counter-attacking goal 9 minutes from the end. Mark Carney's long ball finding Gary Chapman, and Trevor Christie, who'd been sent off last week, was the hero now. Huddersfield Town 2, Mansfield 2. Elsewhere, Grimsby joined in the winners column by Bradford. Sean McCarthy got both their goals against Wigan, the second in the dying moments. But Rotherham's mini revival was crushed at Cambridge. Grimsby stay second because Southend won at home to Bury, and Stoke are still third despite their defeat at Blundell Park. Cambridge's 4-1 win over Rotherham lifts them to 6th. Bradford's win takes them ahead of Huddersfield, but the bottom of the table makes grim reading. Mansfield haven't won at home, Rotherham haven't won away. Next week, Mansfield have a vital match at home to Crewe. Rotherham face Bradford.
At Saltergate, all 3 goals came inside the first 20 minutes. Francis put Chesterfield ahead after 9. And on 17, Lemon created space for the cross. Francis lays the ball back across the goal into the path of Caldwell, and with Ormsby unable to intercept, Caldwell gets his second goal in 4 days. But Ormsby made amends for his defensive error and Doncaster pulled one back. His drive hit the post. John Muir, for the moment, the hero. Into the second half and Doncaster almost equalised. Turnbull's ball laid out to Rankin, the heads went up, but Grayson couldn't quite finish it. But the day turned sour for Doncaster 15 minutes from time. Muir continuing his tussle with Hart off the ball, the ref saw an elbow go in, and Muir, the hero of the first half, was shown the red card. Final score, Chesterfield 2, Doncaster 1.
Lincoln came within a whisker of taking an early lead at home to Northampton. Darren Davis seeing his header clip the bar on its way over. It was Northampton, though, who took the lead on 23 minutes. The Lincoln defence out-jumped. Chard hooks it on, and the unmistakable figure of Steve Terry is there, a former Hull player, to claim the goal. The incident that turned the match came 5 minutes after half-time. A push here by Angus on Davis, and the referee, despite all the Northampton protests, awards Lincoln the penalty. Shane Nicholson, cool as you like, 1-1. He also got the only goal in the midweek home defeat by Rochdale. And 5 minutes later, the afternoon started to look even brighter for Lincoln, who began the day with just 1 win. You won't see many more powerful headers all season than this one from Paul Smith. His 5th goal of the season, and he obviously is inspired by the goals on Sunday cameras, having scored 2 when we were at Sinsel Bank earlier in the month against Aldershot. That day, the visitors got a late equaliser. This time, Lincoln held on. And 4 minutes from time, a third goal, Bressington's cross. Everybody slips except Paul Casey. Lincoln 3, Northampton 1. The only winners we haven't seen were Halifax, who came from 2 goals down twice to beat Blackpool 5-3. An excellent point for Scunthorpe at second place Darlington. Scarborough lost 2-0 at home to Maidstone. Doncaster actually improved their position despite losing, because that 3-1 defeat at Lincoln means Northampton's goal difference is now worse than Doncaster's. Scarborough's defeat means they miss a chance to go into the top 8. Scunthorpe are just behind them. Chesterfield climb 4 places, while York's defeat on Friday drops them down 3. And more bad news for them, 3 of the 4 teams below them won yesterday, and Aldershot drew. And that's it. There's a soccer special to look forward to next Saturday night at 11:15. Highlights of a top match in our region. This weekend, the highlight came at Grimsby. A year ago, they were 15th in Division 4. Now they're 2nd in Division 3. A message of hope for everyone. Goodbye.